All right, good Wednesday evening, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's having a good week out there. We have some severe weather to talk about. We're a multi-day severe weather event coming, plus flash flooding, as a lot of places across the South are basically saturated. And there's been a lot of flash flooding as of late over the past few months, and that's going to continue as well as long. And the severe weather train continues over the next few days. Just now joining us, please click that like button, comment where you're from, tell us what kind of weather you've been seeing out there, share this with your friends and family. We've got to get the word out there, as well as some severe weather is going to be coming as we go to later this week into this weekend, as well. Okay. If you're over on YouTube, hit that like button. You can hit that subscribe button over on YouTube as well. That subscribe button over on YouTube is basically like following a page. Just different lingo over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment as well. Also, if the more you comment, the more you like our posts, the more you interact with our posts as you see them on Facebook, especially on Facebook, that basically triggers algorithm on your page to basically see more of our content. So if you want to see more and more of our content, to stay up to date on the latest weather information, you need to, as you're scrolling, if you come across our some of our content, please just smash that like button, place it, put a comment in there, something, so basically can refresh your feed, and your feed will start popping up more of our content into your page. All right. So, all right, let's get right into it. Alrighty, this is the severe weather for the rest of today, basically this evening into the overnight hours. We have a marginal risk, a marginal risk all the way from Michigan, Detroit, Cleveland, all the way down through Indianapolis, St. Louis, down through southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, then all the way down towards eastern Texas. So there's a few cities here, like I said, Houston, Detroit, Indianapolis, Austin, Texas, and then you get over here towards Albuquerque, New Mexico. They're a marginal risk as well. There is a slight risk area over here in parts of New Mexico into the Panhandle of Texas, basically. Amarillo, Clovis, New Mexico, Plainview, Las Vegas, New Mexico, not Las Vegas, Nevada, Las Vegas, New Mexico, slight risk for severe weather for them out that way. We'll go over the latest risk for today. There's a little tornado risk out here towards New Mexico into parts of Texas here. There was a tornado warning earlier in parts of St. Louis. I think about 1 million people were under a tornado warning over northern parts of St. Louis earlier. Little 2% area here from St. Louis through southern Illinois, or through parts of Illinois into Indiana for the rest of today. Wind risk, a little bit greater wind risk out here towards New Mexico and Texas, as that where that slight risk is, and so is the hail for the rest of tonight. All right, so let's go to day two. So this is where another piece of energy comes out, and then slight risk is expanding across parts of Kansas into parts of southeastern Colorado, most of Oklahoma, into most of western Texas here, under a slight risk for tomorrow. So, like I said, some of the towns here: Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Lubbock, Amarillo, Odessa down there as well. So slight risk there. Marginal risk is a huge marginal risk going from Maine all the way back into Denver and southwestern parts of Texas even. That is an expansive area. 35 million people, almost 36 million people under marginal risk for tomorrow. Anywhere from Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Denver, Colorado, Nashville, Tennessee as well, up here towards Cheyenne, even Little Rock, up here towards even parts of New Hampshire, Vermont, up all the way to Maine, parts of all the way through the Ohio Valley. Marginal risk for tomorrow. So severe thunderstorms are anticipated mainly from late afternoon Thursday. Let me repeat that. Late afternoon Thursday into Thursday night from the southern high plains across southern Kansas and Oklahoma. Tornadoes, large to isolated, very large hail events, and severe wind gusts are possible. 60, 70 plus miles per hour is possible, especially over the slight risk area of Oklahoma, parts of Kansas, down here through western Texas for Thursday. All right, so here is tornado risk, basically nothing across the Ohio Valley up towards Maine. And then as you get towards parts of Oklahoma here, that's when the risk starts going up. So the green, 2 to 4% likelihood of seeing a tornado within 25 miles at any given point. Then you get out here towards kind of the brownish areas here. That's a 5%, 5 to 9% likelihood of seeing a tornado within 25 miles at any given point. So a little bit more elevated out here towards Texas, Oklahoma Panhandle, southwestern parts of Kansas for tomorrow. So this is the day 2 outlook. They'll have another, Storm Prediction Center will have another outlook when they come out. They'll come out with a new one, I think, at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So wind risk, yes, it's expansive. There is a chance of 60 plus mile per hour winds all the way from Maine, all the way back towards Arkansas, back here towards the front range of the Rockies here, including Denver, Colorado Springs, up towards Cheyenne, Wyoming as well. A little bit more of an expansive wind risk here, 15% wind risk of exceeding 60 miles per hour or greater within 25 miles at any given point. Parts of Texas here, Odessa, Lubbock, Amarillo, up towards Oklahoma City, Tulsa, up towards Wichita. And then hail risk, significant hail risk possible across parts of southeastern Colorado, southwestern, south central parts of Kansas, Oklahoma Panhandle here. Anywhere in that hatched area, 2-inch diameter hail or greater is possible. And then we have a little area down here towards Lubbock, hatched area, 2-inch diameter hail or greater is possible, which is basically hen eggs or lime size hail out that way. It's a general 1-inch hail risk, basically for parts of northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, and to parts of Oklahoma, including Oklahoma City, up towards Tulsa, Joplin as well, just north of Little Rock, Memphis. You're included in this as well. So then, as we get into day 3, okay, here is day 3. Huge risk, slight risk here, all the way from southeastern Colorado, far eastern New Mexico, going through Texas, basically all of Oklahoma, far southern Kansas, southern Missouri, most of the northern 3/4 of Arkansas, most of Tennessee, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, northwestern Georgia, most of Kentucky, southern Indiana, southern Illinois. Quite expansive, slight risk area as we go into Friday. All right. So 25.7 million people under the gun here. So, like I said, Memphis, Oklahoma City, Nashville, Atlanta, Tulsa, Louisville, Kentucky, Springfield, Missouri, Little Rock, Tulsa, over here towards Amarillo, Lubbock, Huntsville, Alabama, and then getting close to Atlanta, like I said, as well. So big slight risk possible across the area. Marginal risk, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Denver, again, Colorado Springs, Wichita, Kansas, up towards St. Louis even, Cincinnati, down here towards basically the I-20 corridor, Monroe to Shreveport, just north of there, north of Dallas even as well. So severe thunderstorms is expected from the southern high plains to Tennessee and lower Ohio valleys on Friday into Friday night. We're going to go over future radar here shortly. Just want to go over the individual risks each day here as we go forward. So this is for Friday. This hatched area out here towards western Texas into parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle here, into southwestern parts of Kansas. That hatched area means significant severe weather could be possible. Could this expand? Yes, because this is a day 3 outlook. from the Storm Prediction Center. Okay, so this is not it. This is not it by a long shot. So this is, like I said, this is for Friday. We go into Saturday. The risk shifts a little bit further south across parts of the area. So along the Red River into Oklahoma, parts of parts of Texas, basically Amarillo, Dallas, Shreveport, Jackson, Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Memphis, all the way towards South Carolina. Huge slight risk area here, including Atlanta, Birmingham, Montgomery, Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, and just south of Nashville as well. That's just some of the areas here for this day 4 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. So as we go into, I'm trying to look, see if there's any timing here regarding that. So they're saying in general, all day Saturday and to Saturday night across this area. That's from the Storm Prediction Center. Okay, so lots of severe weather could be possible. Now, there's going to be significant, there could be some flooding and possibly significant at times. We've had some flash flood emergencies off and on the past few days. One was around Wichita yesterday. They had 5 to 8 inches of rain within a couple hours around the Wichita area. Crazy amounts of rain in parts of Kansas. And of course, we've had a lot of rain across a lot of the area here throughout the spring. And the ground's already saturated, so it's not going to take much to get those streams, creeks, just basically flowing. And then the rivers are going to start going back up as well. I know that a lot of these lakes, we have tons of lakes in Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas, northern Arkansas, southern Missouri. They're either close to 100% capacity or right there near it. And they're starting, I know there's a couple lakes in parts of Arkansas, southern Missouri that have opened their floodgates because they're full. So they're starting to, they have to start evacuating that water. Otherwise, it'll start overtopping some of the dams out there. So that's what they're doing in parts of northern Arkansas to get some of those levels down. I'm sure they're doing the same thing out here towards Oklahoma and maybe even parts of Texas. We've had nonstop tons of rain over the last basically couple months across the area. So let's go over excessive rainfall. Let's go over day 1. Okay, so this is the rest of today. See a massive area here over the southwestern parts of the United States. So slight risk of flash flooding out here towards northern Arizona, going towards the Grand Canyon, basically the Four Corners region of the United States. And then we get out here towards parts of northern Arkansas, up here through St. Louis, Springfield, Illinois, and even up here towards Indiana. Slight risk here of flash flooding as well. And then another spot down here where there was a possibility of some tropical development. That's kind of waned a little bit, but the tropical downpours continue down here across the southeast. Good news for Florida as they're going through a drought right now, but a lot's going to come too fast across this area. So, but slight to marginal risk for flash flooding down this way. As we go into tomorrow, it shifts back west. So flash flooding could be possible across parts of Texas, most of Oklahoma, southern parts of Kansas, green area. A little bit less chance, but these grounds are pretty saturated, so it's not going to take much. And these storms, the past few days have been very sufficient rainfall producers. I'm talking 2 to 4 inches an hour in some spots. So if you get one of these big storms right over top of you for 15 minutes to 30 minutes, it could dump 1 to 2 inches in a matter of 15 minutes to a half an hour across the area, which that would create some big time street flooding, big time creeks, and then now that runs into river. So flash flooding is a major concern over the next few days. As we go into Friday, the heavy rain threat kind of shifts a little bit, but over basically the same areas here. Southern Missouri, far northern Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, excluding Fayetteville, Bentonville, over here towards Mountain Home, Springfield, down here towards Oklahoma City and Tulsa for that day. Then as we get into Saturday, basically it's a lot of the same areas. It's slowly starting to shift a little bit south here, but The slight risk area is across parts of southern, southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, southwestern Arkansas for that day. All right. So I know there's a lot of stuff going over here. So here's the multi-day rainfall. We're going to go over that. Waiting for it to totally load here. All right. So you can see basically across along and south of I-70, there is a pretty decent chance over the next 5 to 7 days that some places, especially across Oklahoma, basically from the Texas Panhandle through Oklahoma City, basically along I-40 here, someone could get 2 to 5 plus inches of rain, and this is extending all the way down into parts of Alabama, Mississippi, and parts of western Georgia, and there's a spot up here in southern Illinois as well. So, and then these brighter spots here, like I said, there's 5 inches, 4 inches here, parts of northern Arkansas. Here's 3 inches. Get down here towards parts of Mississippi, Alabama. That's 3 inches over the next 7 days. So just more rain coming across the area over the next 5 to 7 days across the area. So let's go over future timing. So you can kind of plan out the next few days. All right, as we go into the overnight hours, you can see there's been some. I'm gonna expand this out towards the southeast here soon in the Ohio River Valley here, so you can see here in just a second. But as we go throughout the rest of tonight, there's scattered storms out here towards basically Arkansas, parts of southeastern Missouri, and then another complex of storms starts developing across Texas into parts of Oklahoma. That kind of fizzles out. And then as we go in through tomorrow afternoon, kind of some scattered storms possibly as we go towards Arkansas through Tennessee. Then it kind of calms down just a little bit. But then as we get towards tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, that's when these storms start developing out here towards Kansas, Texas. I think this is actually a little bit underdone. But there's going to be a big squall line possibly develop as we head towards overnight to Thursday night into Friday morning. That's going to start screaming east towards parts of most of Oklahoma here, and then heading into southwest Missouri, into northern Arkansas as we go throughout Friday into Friday afternoon even. And this is Friday around 3 o'clock. And that's where those storms are going to be on Friday. And then another complex of storms will probably develop Friday night and basically ride through the same areas across Oklahoma into Arkansas and then through Tennessee here. So let's go to the Ohio Valley here so you can kind of see what's going on as well. This is 18Z HRRR, goes out 48 hours. So here is the rest of tonight. And then here is tomorrow morning, basically. And then as we go through tomorrow afternoon and then tomorrow night, basically scatter storms around. I think there's going to be a lot more coverage than what this is depicting. I'm just trying to give you kind of a sense of what's going to happen. So here's basically Friday morning. Here's that complex of storms coming through parts of Arkansas. Into Oklahoma as well, and coming out of Oklahoma. And then storms will fire across parts of Kentucky into Tennessee as we go throughout the day, late afternoon into the evening hours on Friday. And then, like I said, across Tennessee, across Kentucky, and then up here towards Ohio into West Virginia. And I think another complex of storms is going to develop out in the plains again, Southern Plains, Friday night, and then come screaming east as we go into Saturday and Saturday morning. Okay, so there it is. Multiple severe weather chances over the next basically 4 days, 4 to 5 days possibly, and then significant rainfall could be possible. And if you, like I said, if you get under one of these bigger thunderstorms, these things have been producing torrential sheets basically almost a whiteout of rain with 2 to 4 inch an hour rates. So if you get under one of these heavier storms, you could deal with some flooding pretty quickly, as a lot of these grounds are saturated across the area. Like I said, some of these storms could produce, if it sits over you for a little bit, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, it could dump an inch, 2 inches, 3 inches of rain in a short period of time. And of course, we're going to have some severe weather to deal with. And most of this, since it's complex MCS developments at night, coming in screaming across the plains, it's going to be a significant wind machine. So straight line winds, I think, are going to be the main threat. There is going to be some hail threats. There is going to be some tornado threats, especially as the storms get going out here towards Oklahoma and Texas and Kansas. And then as they press east, they're going to basically consolidate into a big bowling line of storms and then rocket east, southeast. And that's where we'll get some of those big time straight line winds, 60, 70, 75 plus miles per hour could be possible. So there's the risk. Stay weather aware. Stay up on our page. Like I said, if you comment, you like our post as you're scrolling your feed, please click that like button, comment every once in a while, so we can basically tells Facebook you want to see more of our stuff. So if you do that more often, basically pushes Facebook to push our content to you a lot faster, so you can get updated information. If you scroll past our stuff on Facebook, Facebook will bury our stuff and you won't see it very often unless you actually search our page. So help us help you. Please click that like button, comment whenever you can. We appreciate it. Stay weather aware over the next few days. We'll have continuous updates on our Facebook page. So if you're not following us on Facebook, come on over to Snowbird Bob on Facebook. Hit that follow button. We're getting close to, we'd like to get to about 175,000 followers, hopefully by September 1st. We're at 164 now, so I think it could be possible. So help us, help y'all, help your family, so we can keep you all ahead of the storm, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of the evening and stay weather aware, and have a way to get warnings, as a lot of these storms over the next 3 to 4 days will come overnight, or into basically the evening to overnight hours. Okay, so stay weather aware. Have a good evening. And like I said, we'll have continuous updates.